All right, and we are in Act 6. We just finished killing Katava. We got our resistances reduced. And now we are ready to start back up the second part of the story. So we have arrived in Rayclast. And as you can see, it's very similar to the Act 1 layout. And we're going to be going back through pretty much all of these zones again. But the kind of setting will be a lot more expanded upon. As you can see, the map is a little bit bigger than this. And that is kind of what we will learn when it comes to our storyline. But before we begin, I wanted to go back and get these quests that I'd previously missed in the previous walkthroughs. Just to see if they give us any kind of skill points or something like that. So we're going to be talking to quest givers. Tarclay. All right. So let's head back here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go to this waypoint here, and then we'll go to the submerged passage to go to the Dweller in the Deep. Now, if you remember, when we originally did this, we had the opportunity to go back to this place, but I decided to gate against it just because I felt like it would take me a little bit too long to get through it. This time around, I'm just curious, genuinely curious, if they award any skill points or anything like that, because we might have missed them. And then also, what we'll do after we're finished with this is we will... Okay, cool. Flooded Depths. This is where we go for the quest Dweller in the Deep. And then after we're finished with both of these side quests, we're going to take a look into our path of building and make sure we have all of our skills that we're supposed to have according to that, so we can round out the build a little bit more. Maybe get some auras that increase our resistance, or our life regen, or mana regen, whichever one that we feel we are in need of, right? I might not need mana regen, because I might feel like the mana regen that I have right now is pretty good. And if you're not in that situation and you feel like you need more mana regeneration, then this will be a great way for you to sort of build upon that and make sure that you have the required like thresholds before you progress further into the storyline. So we're going to try to find this guy here, which is Dweller of the Deep. He's imprisoned in an essence, and we described the essences in Act 4. If you're unaware of what an essence is, it is an item that has a chance to modify a rare item or or an existing rare item into a property, one guaranteed property. So, going to click this thing 3 times. It's going to drop this for us. Whispering Essence of Greed. And the Greed one gives us maximum life. So as you can see, it upgrades a normal item to a rare item with one guaranteed property. Properties restricted to level 35 and below. And I believe the item level is the level 35. So, let's see, max life. Okay, we don't need that. So let's exit the character screen and log out. Let's go back in the game. And we will head to Act 2 and try to get the Great White Beast. So we're going to go up this way. And if you're unsure of where to go, push the letter U as in unicorn. We're going to go to the oil fields, and then we're going to go up to the den is what we're looking for. And most times, not all the time, but most times, looking at the orientation of where the area goes to. So this is going to be like northwest, excuse me. It's a pretty good chance that if you hug the northwest side of it, you'll find the area that you need to enter. Obviously, that's not it there. Stuff with caves and stuff can be a little bit interesting because they can be kind of anywhere. But we're just going to run through here quickly just to kind of see if we can find it. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm just curious if these give us any skill points or anything like that. That could be very useful for us. Looks like this is where we go. So the den is here. Entrance is right here, off to the side. We're going to enter the den. Try to find this great white beast. There's another door there. That's a good sign. Great white beast is right here. Cool. Excellent. And we did it. Let's head back to town. Character select screen. And go back in here. And then we'll teleport there. Oh, looks like we're here already. So let's talk to Groose, Aramir, Yena. Okay, so Yena just gives us a belt or a flask. So it's not really that necessary, although this rustic sash could be good for us. And then now we'll head back to Act 1. We'll do the Dweller in the Deep. Talk to Tarkley. And he does give us a skill book. Okay, cool. So, Dweller in the Deep would have been a good thing to do at that time, because it does give us a passive skill point. Now, let's see. Let's try to remember what we do when we've leveled up and we don't know where we're supposed to go. Okay, so let's go to Path of Building. Let's go to the tree up here at the top right. Let's make sure that we've gotten everything else. It looks like we've gotten everything else here. We haven't branched off anywhere. We're at level 44 Katava, which we've done. And we're looking to go to our second Ascendancy plus Arcali. Well, I don't know what Arcali is, but it's probably going to be a boss kind of like Merveil. So let's just... I think we have everything that we're supposed to have here. So the next one, let's put it into Physical Mastery, because that's just 1 point. More maximum physical damage. Okay, so we've got our point there. And we're in Act 1. Let's go back to Act 6, because there's no other quests for us to finish. We're finished with all of these quests here. Through Sacred Ground. Hand of the Good Man in the Crypt. So maybe we can go to the crypt here and try to find the Hand of the Good Man. So this is where we completed one of our labyrinth trials. Just keep searching in here. Try to find the necessary entrance. Or possibly even the item that we need. And simply just running through here. These enemies are level 17. So all of our attacks will kill them, which is nice. So nothing down there. And nothing over here. Okay. Maybe it's further this way. Oh, alright. We got an entrance here. Crypt level 2. Let's go there. Crypt level 2. We're looking for some Hand of a Good Man. I'm sure it'll be a quest item we pick up. Okay. And we're just hopping around like a bunny. Hopping down here. Give us that shrine. It's always a nice idea to go back to the areas that you were and complete the quests. That way, got the golden hand there. And we will head back to town. We could have just logged out, logged back in. Not a big deal. All right, and we do get a passive skill point for that. So 2 new passive skill points that we've received just from doing quests. And again, we are unsure of where to go here, so let's check this and make sure that we want to go where we need to go. Let's get Soul of Steel. Right there, that's pretty nice. All right, and now we have completed all of our side quests from all the previous acts. And we're ready to go to part 6. Or act 6, rather. Alright, so we have all of these quests here now. And maybe it'd be a good idea in the future from now on just to do all the side quests. Because kind of unsure if we're going to get any items that are going to be necessary for our build. Huh. That's pretty nice. Gives us strength, maximum life, as well as lightning resistance. But what will it do to our fire? It'll reduce our fire resistance, which isn't that big of a deal. Let's see. Okay, puts it right at exactly 75, which is the cap. So there we go. So we're capped on our lightning resistance, and we're capped on our fire resistance. 75 is the cap. You can increase it to more by adding points such as this. It says 1% to all maximum elemental resistances, and then it also says maximum resistances cannot be raised above 90%. So that's also another goal, is to try to get your resistances as high as possible. We're going to sell those. Okay, we're going to go backwards. So we need to clear the Twilight Strand first before we do anything else. So let's go backwards to the Twilight Strand. We need to kill all the enemies here. Running through with our Lacerate Bleed and letting these enemies just pop. This is the little loot goblin guy. That's not really a loot goblin. Just a way of getting extra loot. Alright, we got a gold ring. Let's pick that up. Progressing through here. Go to the very end. There's one guy here. Alright. cleared that out. Let's explore down here. There could be some enemies down here. And again, we'll know if we've cleared all the enemies because the quest will finish. Or we'll see a little notification in our chat box here that tell us how many enemies are left. It's one of the two ways we can know that we've cleared out all the enemies. Looks like this is probably the last bit. So it's not. So we're missing some enemies here. Okay, well, maybe this area up here has some. Oh, nice. Oh, wow. Lots of enemies up here. These guys were all holed up here. And yeah, it does tell us 5 monsters remain, 3 monsters, 1 monster, 0 monsters. So that lets us know that, you know, we have finished the quest. Let's run back to the area. Okay. Heading back to Lion's Eye Watch. Alrighty, so we head back down here to Lilly Roth. She'll give us a Book of Regrets, which give us 2 passive respec points. And now Lilly will be the person who sells all of our gems. So if we want any gems to purchase, such as ones that we possibly could have missed along the way, this is where we'll be getting them. So let's take a look at what we're going to be getting when it comes to our skills. So we go to Path of Building. We're looking at the tree currently. We're going to switch to skills up at the top. We're going to make sure that our skill set is highlighted of where we're at. So we're at Kitava. We just finished. And now we're going to make sure, okay, we need a 4 link for our Lacerate. Let's see. So we have a 4 link for our Lacerate, and let's see what we need. We need Lacerate, melee physical damage, brutality, and chance to bleed. Well, I think we have chance to bleed and melee physical. Let's take a look and see if we can find cruelty. Alright, and cruelty's right there. Perfect. So let's get cruelty for our item here. And just as a footnote, the first tabs in color will be skill gems, and the second tabs in colors will be passive or support gems. So if you're looking for a support gem, go to the second one and take a look, because there's going to be different skill gems or different gems in general on those pages. So our second one is going to be Leap Slam. We got Leap Slam here, and it says we need to have faster attacks and culling strike. So we need to have a 2 green and 1 red is what we need. So looks like we don't have any of that here. Let's get culling strike here, because I know we have faster attacks. I think faster attacks is right here. Yes, it is. Second one is going to be Frost Blink. So we're going to purchase items, go to the 5th tab. Frost is what we'll type in here, and Frost Blink right there. Okay. So we got Frost Blink for us. Let's go back to this. We have a Curse. We have Vulnerability. Vulnerability is there. Good. We'll do Clarity. We'll do Steel Skin. So those are the only 2 because we have Pride and we have War Banner. So let's go to Clarity and Steel Skin. So Steel Skin is right here. And then Clarity will be... Oops, got to spell it correctly. Wonderful. All right, so we need to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to have 6 more slots available to us. Now, boots can hold a total of 4. Gloves can hold a total of 4. Main hand, offhand can hold a total of 3. So we might be able to squeeze in a couple of things here. But in the meantime, let's try to use some of our currency and kind of describe what it can do. So let's do these gloves, for example. And we're going to use a Jeweler's Orb. It reforges the number of sockets on an item. So we have 1 here. So if we use it, it'll give us either 2, 3, or 4. And we've got 2 there. So let's use it again. See if we can get 3. We've got 1. Let's use it again. And we got 4. Great. That's what we wanted. That's what we want to see, is a total of 4 on there. And that's what we got. So we can use this to sort of manipulate what we want on our choices here. So, for example, we're using a 4 link here, and that's going to be this here, but we'll need to change the color. So we're not going to mess with this right now. We're going to mess with this one here. And what we're going to do, what we're going to try to do, is because it's armor and evasion, we're going to try to do Leap Slam, faster attacks, Culling Strike, and then Frost Blink. But what we'll do is we'll try to have these 3 linked and this 4th one unlinked. And if the 4th one is unlinked, that's totally cool if it is linked. If not, not a big deal. But let's try to get this blue one here, and then 2 green and a red is what we want. So let's right-click the chromatic orb, left-click that. We got 1 green and 2 red, and they're different links. We got 3 blue there. Okay, 2 green, 1 red, and 1 blue. That's wonderful. But now we need to use our Orb of Fusing to reforge the links in here. All right, and we got a 4 link. That's wonderful. 4 link with the correct colors, the correct sockets. We're going to use Culling Strike here, and then we'll use Frost Blink down here as well. And you can see, if you mouse over the gems themselves, you can see the gems light up to show you which ones it will work with. So even though we only want Culling Strike to work with Leap Slam, it also works with Frost Blink, which is great. And Culling Strike essentially makes it so that when you hit an enemy that has 10% life or lower, it will be instantly killed. So this works for most enemies. I don't know if it works for bosses necessarily, but this is definitely something that is going to be very useful concerning like which type of abilities we can socket in here. So we're done with our Leap Slam, which is great. We only have 4 more to implement, and Cruelty goes up with this up here. So let's try to link these items. Let's do Orb of Fusing and try to link these together. We got 1 more chance, and we didn't get it. Okay, well, not a big deal. We can still do what we had before, and we can level up our Cruelty support in here. And we can also add Steel Skin to this one and Vulnerability to that one. And then lastly, we need Clarity. So let's try to use it on this one, because this is one of the only open slots that we have. Now we could try to do this as well, but I don't want to have to... Oh, you know what? On second thought, we're not using Ray Spectre. Ray Spectre was simply just a filler spell for us. So let's slap Clarity on there, so we get some more mana regeneration. And now we're basically finished with what we have to do. This makes it so we have all of the skills that are required for level 44. And don't feel bad if you didn't get the right links or you don't have the right links for any of these items. This is just a sort of ground level sort of what you should be having here. And stuff like Clarity isn't necessary. It's just a temporary mana fix. We're going to get some skills in our passive tree later that's going to give us more of a reason to get rid of Clarity. So we won't have as much what they call socket pressure because we have other items that do that sort of thing for us. So let's take a look at this. Okay, not that good. We want more resistances, and that's not what we got. So let's just leave it there. We don't need this gem because we're not really going to be using a gem socket. So hold on one second. Let me just switch something. All right. So we have all of our skills selected. Let's make sure that we align them up with what we're doing here. So we want pride there, we want clarity there, and it looks like that's all we want right now. So let's remove clarity from here. Remove Frostblink from that. Let's change Frostblink to spacebar so we have two different movement traveling abilities. Steel Skin is fine right there. And then we're going to do, let's do Vulnerability there. And since we don't really actively use the Summon Stone Golem, we'll just put the Stone Golem on our aura bar. That way we don't have to worry about the aura filling up our other two bars here. So one thing to also pay attention to is in Path of Building, it'll tell us, okay, it wants level 10, level 9, level 4, level 15, level 2, level 7, level 1. This basically gives us a sort of map to understand what the levels are supposed to be at our certain stage here. And you can also go further to see, all right, level 13 there, level 12, level 9, level 15, right? You can see that, okay, maybe Coaling Strike, we don't want to level up it, because this one in the level 54, which is what we're working towards, only wants us it to be at level 1. Frostbrink at level 4, Vulnerability at level 12, Clarity at level 4. And Cast from Damage Taken is another new one we'll get into when we get there. But you can see that it shows you right here what the level is that it expects your gem to be at. So we're 44 here. Let's see about our Lacerate. Let's see what level our Lacerate is right now. So Lacerate's level 10. So I think we're on the right track, because we're supposed to be level 10. We're at Katava here, so that's a good sign right there. Now, if we can find a 4-link that's green and 3 red, then we can include this cruelty support within that and not have to really worry too much about other things happening to us. So let's sell these items here. Get some currency. All right, and then we're ready to go back out into the Tidal Island. We're ready to search for the mudflats, and we're also ready to do all these other quests here. So when we exit the town, let's make sure we activate our auras. And as you can see, Clarity, the reservation, is a flat number of mana. Obviously, you can see at my mana bar right here, it shows you that that's what I have reserved. If I unreserve everything, it gives me the full amount of mana. If I use Pride, which is a 50% mana reservation, it'll reserve half of my mana. And then I'll do Clarity, which reserves a flat number, which is 34. So, and then we'll do Stone Golem, which costs mana, but it also regenerates there. Steel Skin is really nice. It can grant immunity to bleeding. So if you have the bleeding debuff up here and you hit Steel Skin, it'll be instantly removed, which will be very nice. So we don't have to really build off of our flasks here for having immunity to bleed, such as this. And it's going to be very important later on to make sure that we have enough mana in order to cast things. So Vulnerability is a new curse we're getting. This will basically increase damage taken and have an increased chance to bleed as well. So let's move forward. Let's try to find the Tidal Island to find Bestel's manuscript, and then also search for the mudflats for Nessa. Let's see, we just used a skill. We have a whole bunch of new skills to level up. We got 2. We're not going to worry about that at the moment. We leveled up. Wonderful. Now what we're doing is Einhar. It's another league mechanic. And he'll basically, it'll be like Pokemon. He'll capture these beasts, he'll hold on to them, and then when we want to use them, we can use them to get currency, do it with crafting. There's a lot of resources for the bestiary. So let's make sure that we level up the skills that we want to level up. So let's see, Steel Skin. Let's make sure that we have enough time and energy to do this and not have to worry about enemies attacking us. So we can check. So we can check our skills here. Okay, so let's see. Steel Skin, what level does it want to be at? It wants to be level 12, so we do want to level that up. Okay. Frostblink, it says it's level 4, I think. Yeah, Frostblink level 4. It's not really too necessary. It's just going to upgrade the damage, basically. So I'm going to right-click this to dismiss it without leveling the item. Clarity, we want Clarity to be at level 4. That's going to give us more mana regeneration. It's also going to reserve more mana. I think it was 38 mana or 34 mana reservation. Now it's 48. So do keep that in mind, that if you level your gems up and you're wondering why you don't have any mana, that could be the reason why, is because your reservations are too high of a level and you maybe don't need that high of a level for it. All right, Cruelty and Culling Strike, those are both passive skills, so we don't need to necessarily worry about that. We'll go to our passive skill tree here. We just selected this Physical Mastery. We'll go back to tree up here. And one easy choice we can do will be, let's do this one here, Bleed Chance. So we'll do Bleed Chance there. And select that one. That's a great one. And now what we're going to do is we're going to progress to the right and try to get this node right here. 0.4 of attack damage leached as life, and 0.4 of attack damage leached as mana. So this is where we will start to get into the area where we do not need our mana flask any longer, because when we attack enemies, we will leech mana from them, dependent on how much damage we do. So 0.4% of attack damage leached as mana, even if it's only 40 mana, even if it's only 30 mana, it's still going to be enough to sustain us for our Lacerate. Because as you can see, Lacerate costs 21 mana, and this will give us sort of a little bit more breathing room when it comes to using our flasks. We don't have to use a mana flask any longer once we have this node here. So we're going to grab everything on the left-hand side that we can. We're going to get these 2 points here. And then we're going to start to go towards this way and get life and mana leech. And then we'll build off and branch on other ones here if we need to do that as well. But in the meantime, that's what our goal is right now. Our goal is to try to get life and mana leech so we don't have to worry about having a flask, a mana flask on us. And we're just going to keep moving through. And as you can see, there's a new quest that appeared. It's Einhar's quest. Wants us to capture beasts. And you're welcome to do that, but just know that the beast mechanic, it's a different league, and it's available to use for crafting. You can use it to get different currencies, for example. I'm not really going to go into much of it this playthrough. Maybe afterwards I'll jump in and try to describe all of the mechanics that are in the game. But just for the purposes of this video and keeping it short, we're not going to go too much into that. I might finish it just because the enemies are close by and they're here, and I might kill them just because, but just know that I'm not actively working towards getting that finished. So Got the waypoint here. That's nice. So mudflats, and then again, Tidal Island. It's the same as it was in Act 1. Tidal Island is the south. Mudflats is the north. Let's level up vulnerability, steel skin, and clarity. We want level 4. We're at level 2, so we're going to level 3. We're trying to find Bestel's manuscript. Got steel skin there. And as you can see, my mana regeneration is pretty nice right now. I'm basically recovering all my mana in about 3 seconds or 4 seconds. So it might not even be necessary for you to get clarity, but it does give a little bit of breathing room when it comes to the skills and the attacks. I don't have to worry as much about pushing my mana flask. And it looks like this time around I won't have to do that. Looks like I can hold the ability down and I basically recover a lot of good mana. So next flask that I find, we will be replacing my mana flask because I have a good amount of regeneration already. Alright, storage chest, a green, means that it's a quest item. And we have Bestel's manuscript. So there's no need for us to go further in here. Let's exit the character select screen. Go back out. And we'll talk to Bestel here. And he'll give us a belt and a necklace. Or a choice of necklace or a belt. So we have a belt, good there. Let's see if we can try to get a different necklace. Because this necklace was, I believe, from like Act 2 or something. And because we have a lot of strength, because we're building a strength character, it could be a good idea to get something like this, which will fill in a little bit of the gaps that we have when it comes to dexterity and intelligence. So let's get this one. And let's identify it. All right. That gave us more fire res and more cold res. The lightning damage to attacks isn't that big of a deal, although it does add a little bit more to our actual damage. Global crit strike multiplier does not apply to us because we have this node right here. Never deal critical strikes, so critical strikes in general will not be that helpful for us because it kind of gives us a flat stat. So this is 23, 14 cold. This is 23 cold, 14 fire, and it's got dexterity on it. So that's going to be a good replacement. And now what that means is our resistances are a little bit higher. Now we need a little bit more cold. Cold up to about, I think, 76. And then we'll be capped on our resistances, which will be very nice. So let's sell this item here. Let's take a look at his purchasable items and see if he has anything good or worth grabbing. Doesn't look like it. Got all blue items and we need rare items. What about Tarkley? He might have some good links for us to purchase. We're using a one-handed axe, remember? One-handed axe. And a shield. Alright, doesn't look like we need any of that right now. Okay. Farewell. So let's level up our gems here. Steel Skin, Clarity's level 3. And this is the last time we're leveling up Clarity. Clarity's now at 76 mana. So it went from 48 to 76, going from level 3 to level 4. So that's the most that we want. 8.4 mana regeneration per second, which is really nice. And we'll head back to the waypoint, the coast, and we'll go through to the mud flats. All right. Let's see here. All right, so we're looking for an NPC. As you can see, my mana regeneration is very good. I have no need for a mana flask anymore because my mana regeneration is quick enough. And the little nets on the enemy window up here, if you look up at the top of the screen and I mouse over this enemy, you can see the little net icon. That lets you know you have not captured this type of monster before. So this is Einhar's trick again, Einhar's mechanic. There's our Frostblink. Frostblink is a teleport. So it's an instant teleport. You don't travel like you do with Leap Slam, for example. Alright, and nothing really of note there. Cobalt Jewel. Let's see, Vulnerability and Steel Skin. And remember, jewels have the same sort of affix properties that weapons do, and armor pieces and belts and gloves and things like that. They can be blue in magic or yellow in rare, and blues can only have two prefix, or sorry, one prefix and one suffix, so 2 affixes total. And rare items can have 6. They can have 3 prefix and 3 suffix. So let's ID this. Looks like it's not that good. It's for wielding a staff. It gives max mana. Fire and cold resist could be nice. Or reduced effective shock. But it doesn't matter too much. And we can see if it's worth anything. Usually gems are a good thing to sell because they're very niche when it comes to certain builds. And there might be a build out there looking for these exact specifications. So do be aware that the gems and the jewels that you find could be very useful for some specs. So let's take a look and see if this is worth it for anything. And we're going to hold Control, hit D as in dog. Oh, that's weird. It's not working. Oh, that's right. I needed to load it up before I started. So let's go here and go to, we're going to go to Awakened. And there it is. Cool. So Awakened PoE Trade, we just loaded it up. And it says it's ready and running in the background right there. So we hit Control D, mouse over, and we're going to click each one of these because that is what our gem has on it. We're going to go to search. And it says 50 chaos. Now, I don't know if this is going to be exactly what the price is going to be. It says it was listed 7 days ago. So the chances of this being an item that people want is really low, considering it was listed 7 days ago. If it was listed maybe 2 days ago, an hour ago, 30 minutes ago, usually those are good indicators as to if the item is going to sell, and also the price of the items as well. So this probably isn't an item that people are going to need, so let's just hold on to it and we can sell it when we get back to town. Oh, we got all 3 of these. Holy cow, look at all these guys here. Well, might as well go after them. Remember what I said about Einhar not necessarily wanting to do something like this? Well, they just so happen to be in my way. We can withstand the hits that we're taking from them, so we're just going to... Oh, nice. And we got a cloth belt. Wonderful. We got a unique item. Let's identify this item. Let's see. 30 dexterity, 58 mana, 10% reduced flash charges used, and non-unique utility flask you use apply to linked target. So, well... This doesn't really impact us at all because we're not getting really any damage stats. We're not getting any resistances. So let's just sell that when we get back to town. Life Flask. So we have a new Life Flask. Hallowed Life Flask. Gonna see what it has. Cool. It's got Chill and freeze resistance to it, or immunity rather. So we're going to swap out this one. Because I don't like having the 340, I'd rather have something that gives me more than 340. And this one gives me immunity to chill and freeze, so I don't have to worry about necessarily a strongbox freezing me, for example. What I've been warning people to pay attention to are the affixes on the strongboxes. They can and will kill you, so do be aware of that. All right, so we're going to level up our skill gems here. And we have Clarity. Now, Clarity is already level 4. That's the furthest we want to level it. So what we do in order to get rid of this this notification here and not see the gem level up at all from this is we're going to right-click this plus symbol here. So we right-click it, and it gets rid of it. Now, if you want to upgrade it in the future, you're welcome to. You just have to open your character screen, and at the bottom down here is where the gems will be, and you can mouse over them to see which ones you want to level up. So let's level up Frostblink just because, you know, I'm just want to level it up one more time. We're going to look for an NPC. We'll use vulnerability on the enemies before we attack them. Push Q in the circle. It shows them above their head what they're cursed with. That'll have more damage taken, more physical damage taken, more of a chance to bleed. And eventually we get to the point where in the end game our curses become automatic. So we don't have to worry about necessarily having to cast the ability every single time we want to curse them. It will be an automatic thing. Alright, so we got a tower shield. Awesome. Tower shields will most often provide health, and that's what we want to go for. So hopefully it's going to be better than this one. Let's double check. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. That's a nice one right there. So it gives us maximum life. It gives the increased armor that you see there is local. It is not global. And what that means is 52% increased armor for this item only. If we equip it, it's going to increase our armor based on this number that's it's giving us. But global and local is essentially going to be meaning that if it were global armor increase, it would increase all of our armor pieces by 52%, as opposed to just this one item. So this one has 52% increased armor. It's got 9 maximum life, which is okay. 4 to all elemental resistances, 13 to fire resistance, and 15 to chaos. So we're starting to get pieces with our chaos resistance in them. But obviously, as you can see, we have clarity in here, which is a blue slot, and we only have 2 red slots here. So let's see if we can get 1 blue by using chromatic orbs. All right, and there we go. We got our blue. Let's unsocket that, put it in there, and replace these items there. And we will be good to go. Now, when we look at our defenses, we are a little bit lower on cold, but that's okay. We're really high on fire. We're really high on lightning. And we have minus 15 to chaos because we initially got a minus 30 penalty to chaos. So this gives us 15 chaos resistance, which is very nice. And it will make a noticeable difference once we start encountering chaos enemies. We will start to see a difference between the damage that they deal when it's not done to us, and we have a little bit more resistance to it. So like I mentioned earlier, we're going to get these 2 points here for the increased armor, increased life. We're going to get these ones here, so we go 1 there, and the next one we're going to get is Juggernaut. And then after we get Juggernaut here, we're going to start branching down this way and get Life and Mana Leech. That'll really help flesh our build out. Some gauntlets. Let's see what the gauntlets have. Remember, hold control to take a look at what is on the item itself. Okay, cool. Well, it gives a good bit more of armor, which is nice. And it's almost double the amount of strength. But it doesn't have the sockets in there. And I don't have any fusings, orb of fusings. We have Jeweler's Orb to change the number of sockets. But we don't have any fusings to help us reconfigure the links if we don't get a 4-link there. So we're going to hold on to these gloves in case we end up getting some fusings. And we're just going to hold on to the item there. This is going to be our sell tab over here, or sell area. So let's keep running through here. So Frostblink we're going to level up because we want it to be level 4. Steel Skin and Lacerate we're both going to level up as well. Remember, this red aura here will show us that we can't recover a certain amount of HP over a certain limit. So it's usually 50%. It could be different, but for right now, it's just 50. So we're going to right-click Frostblink because we don't want to level Frostblink anymore. So we're going to right-click it, and we're not going to have to worry about these 2 gems leveling up anymore because we right-click them. Satin gloves. Let's take a look. Not very good. That's all right. We have another essence here. So let's triple-click this essence. Whoa. This bubble that he's in makes it so that everything goes slower for us. So as you can see at the very top of the screen, the debuff is going down a lot slower than if I were outside of the bubble. And that's what the bubble does, is it makes it so that everything goes slower. So the damage you deal is slower. The debuffs on you, for example, that enemies put on you will stay on you longer. So they will deal more damage to you in the long run. All right, one-handed axe. That's nice. Let's see. Let's see about this axe here. All right. Whoa, that's a great-looking weapon. It gives us increased physical damage. That's not too bad about the strength, but it does give us a much higher top-end sort of damage. So, and we can always check. Again, we can always check what our offense is going to be like by switching the weapon in and out. Okay, so it's actually worse. Even though it's a higher top end, this is much better. So 730... Okay, sorry, we need to go to our Lacerate here. 1361 is what we're looking at. And 639. Oh, well, maybe it's because... Oh... Might be because of the Lacerate. It adds 8 dexterity to it. And if we remove that, that's going to be what all of our damage is going to be based off of. So, okay. So we can't remove this yet because we need the 8 dexterity on there. So we have to find a way to get some dexterity in order to keep this gem on here, because it requires, as you can see, 47 strength and 67 dex. And we're only at 70. And if we remove this, it brings us down to 62. So we need to keep this weapon on just so that we can ensure ourselves to use Lacerate. And then we can possibly get a dexterity item here. This is where we'll start to get dexterity, is moving through this way, which will be very nice in the future. Level up melee physical, and I think we're done here. We need to search the mudflats for Nessa. Let's go up this way. There's Nessa. It says travel through the prisoner's gate to the ship graveyard. And we've already been through the prisoner's gate once. That was when we were going through it originally in the in Act 1. So we're going to go through this area, the Karui Fortress. We're level 48 in a level 46 zone. So remember, we're a little over-leveled, which is totally okay. As long as we don't get at least 3 levels over the level recommendation, or the area of the zone, rather. So we're going to go to Tukohama's Keep. Now, this is where we'll start to get our Pantheon powers. And Pantheon powers are essentially another passive system that gives you a bunch of defenses, and they're all random. They're random as to what you, which ones you want. They don't really follow any rhyme or reason. So this is going to be one boss we're going to encounter. Watch out for those attacks there. You can see his health dropping as I'm attacking him. That's the bleed damage doing it. We're going to bleed these things here. Watch out for the middle that is attacking us. Just keep running through here in circles. Attacking this area here. Making sure that we don't get too overwhelmed. And it's off. Cool. We can continue attacking this guy. And bleeding him. And that was it. So that's our first... Oh, brown shield. So this is going to be our first Pantheon that we're going to get. And this will show us the... sort of the map for Pantheons. So, as you can see, this is going to be the Pantheon. If you mouse over this, it gives you information on it. It says you may only have one major and one minor at any given time. The major gods appear at the top. Minor gods appear below and are smaller than the major gods. You can unlock new god powers by defeating them in battle and can enhance these powers by capturing the souls of certain bosses in endgame maps. You can only change which god powers you have active when in towns or hideouts. Okay, so with that being said, we have these 4 major gods. We have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minor gods. And you can see this first one that we have, Soul of Tukohama. Gives us 3% additional physical damage reduction per second you've been stationary, up to 9%. So we get an additional physical damage reduction, which is great. It's going to help with our armor. But it's only active while we're stationary. So we can't be moving, which is not really very good for our build. We're a very mobile build. So something like this might be good for bosses, for example, if you're going to be standing still and attacking. But it won't be good if you're running around attacking. You won't get any benefit from it. So there might be stuff like this in the future where we can choose powers that really benefit our build, that really kind of round out what we're missing. But for now, that's the only one we have, so we're going to choose that. And do be aware that once you get your Pantheon power there, you can push the letter Y as in yes, and open the Pantheon panel here. So this will show you which ones you have selected. You have to click on them individually to select them. And the ones that are grayed out, you can see at the bottom down there, it says Capture Tossin the Warmaker. These will... they're explained where it says enhance these powers by capturing the souls of certain bosses in endgame maps. So endgame maps is going to be once we're finished with the campaign and we're into our hideout and we're starting to do maps, this is when it'll become more apparent. So don't worry too much about the grayed out ones. We're not going to be able to get them now until we complete our campaign. So let's see. We got a new shield. That's pretty nice. Not as much resistance. It's got not enough armor, and yeah, you know, not as good as I want it to be. So let's hold on to this. We'll sell these items here when we get back to town. But let's keep moving. Level up Cruelty and Culling Strike. All right, 3 Scrolls of Wisdom. This is going to give us additional resistance to elemental damage. So as you can see, we are well above our limit here. And this will also increase our maximum. So we're at 86, 86, 87. So level up Steel Skin for Bleed. And we're going to keep running through here. We're looking for the next orange door. There it is. Orange door up this way to the ridge, and we're going to keep moving through. Grab the waypoint. And let's go back to Lion's Eye to talk to Tarkley. Let's sell some items. In case we get some, we don't have to worry too much about them filling our inventory. All right, and we got a passive skill point for completing that quest there. Wonderful. And again, we're going to get this one, Juggernaut. And then now we're going to progress to the right-hand side to try to get Life and Mana Leech. That's going to be our goal. Go back here. And we're going to keep heading this way. Go further up the ridge. Try to make it into the Prisoner's Gate. That's what we're looking for. These enemies will be stronger in Act 6. So do be aware they will have more modifiers. But we should be just fine. So we got Impenetrable Shrine. So we can take a look at what the shrine will do for us. We're at 80% physical damage reduction, 2,400 armor. Pick this up and we gain another 3,500. We gain 3,500. We're at 87% physical damage reduction. So this shield icon will basically give us increased armor, evasion, and energy shield. So any kind of defense we build, it will give us those, it'll just increase that benefit that we get from them. Hallowed Mana Flask. We don't need Mana Flasks anymore. We're actively looking to get rid of our Mana Flask right now. If we find something that is useful for us. Strongbox. Remember, if we are bleeding, we can, or if we're chilled or frozen, we can just use our first flask here. That gives us immunity to chill and freeze. Alright, it doesn't look like it does any of that, so we're good to go there. Gut Ripper, Dream Maze, Quarterstaff, nothing we can use. Just running through here. Using our Lacerate to kill enemies. Frost blinking when we want to. Leap slamming. You can clearly see the power of Lacerate and the bleed with the Ascendancy that we chose that causes enemies to explode. Level up chance to bleed. Excellent. Leveled up a bunch of skills. Steel Skin, Vulnerability, Cruelty, and Culling Strike. Alright, we're in the lower prison. That was quick. So it also says here we need to complete the Lord's Labyrinth. So let's do that. Let's get the waypoint here. Let's find this labyrinth. We're looking for a book on the screen. There's a book up there. Could be there. Let's go take a look. Huh. Alright, well, it's not that direction. Maybe we gotta go around. Alright, another Chaos Orb. Excellent. Alright, cool. So we're at our next Trial of Ascendancy. This is going to be our 7th Trial of Ascendancy. It's going to be a little different than the first one that we did. It's the checkered ones here again. And as always, you can just jump right through it if you want to. But this will be the way that we go. So let's wait until this is finished. And then we will follow it this way. Looking for these. While we're here, let's invest this skill point. So we're going to the right now. Going to try to get life and mana leech is what we're going to try to get. War banner level up. Let's get this jewel. Let's get these boots. No movement speed. Alright, so this one again, let's take a look and see if it's worth anything. There's a lot of different stats there. There's call damage, attack speed with bows, attack and cast speed, and fire damage over time multiplier. So it says 0 listed right here. And 0 listed is a very clear indicator that nobody has listed this item here. So it's probably not worth anything. It's probably garbage. So let's keep moving through here. We're going to have to complete 3. So the prior part, we had to complete all 6. in order to get our next trial. This one, we're only going to have to complete 2. And this is the only one that we will have known right now, is Act 6. But we have 2 more to complete that are in different areas. Take the portal out. All right. And this one, we're going to try to get to Shavronne's tower. So it says travel through the prisoner's gate to the ship graveyard and search for Nessa, and then also Essence of Umbra, which is kill Shavronne. So we're going to try to kill Shavronne in this area here. All right, another orange door. That's a good sign. Cool. And we found Shavronne's tower. We need to go through here and reach the tippity top of Shavronne's tower. Going to be a little bit of mazes, some enemies, but we should be all right. Just kind of going through this way. Leveling up Summon Stone Golem. Gives us more life regen, 56 life regen. Stairs is always a good sign. Now we're going in the right direction. Huh, a painted tower shield. Let's see if this is any good. Could be better than what we're currently using. Well, that's interesting. But there's no resistances on that item there. There's barely any, and we don't get any chaos resistance. But we do get more life. But, you know, I like the resistances that we have, so I'm going to hold on to this one. I don't really want to worry too much about losing some resistances right now, so. Nice, now we're getting things in ×3, so we're going to start getting a lot more currency off the floor. Boots. Open the strong box. And remember this S-Talk, it's going to be a blue, green, and red linked item. That will give us a chromatic orb when we're finished selling it. So let's hold on to that. Want to pick up the armor scrap. We've got how many armor scraps? We've got 10 armor scraps. Okay, cool. We'll use those more when we get into later maps, later areas. More stairs. That's a great sign. Alright, another set of staircase, which is good. Lets us know we're on the right path. And we're killing things pretty quickly. As you can see, our bleed is doing a pretty good amount of damage to them. Alright, well, looks like our next area is going to be in the middle there somehow, so maybe we'll just run around in a circle and get that. Excellent, we leveled up. That's wonderful. Getting closer to our goal of getting the mana and leech. Let's see, level 6. I can't remember if Culling Strike wanted me to go past level 6. Let's take a look. Culling Strike is level 1. Alright, then let's check the next rank just to see if it goes any further. Nope, Culling Strike stays at level 1, so let's keep it at level 6 and not level it up anymore. Alright, and we got Prison Rooftop. That's a great sign. Alright, here's Shavronne. Oh, and that is... looks like Brutus. Yes, it is. Okay, well, we'll have 2 bosses to fight, it looks like. Same mechanics as before. We're going to run around him in a circle. Just going to get empowered, it looks like. Alright, Shavronne pops into the scene here. You can see at the top. Alright. She looks like she fuses in with him. Should be easy. Then my golem to taunt her. As you can see, the bleed will deal more damage than when they're moving, which is great. Wonderful. And that's it. Get another skill point. Let's keep progressing to the right.
And so it begins.
And we got that down. Let's go through this door and go to the Warden's Chambers. Make sure we get the crafting recipe here. And we're headed to Prisoner's Gate. Prisoner's Gate. We need to go through the ship graveyard. Let's go back to Tarkley. Turn in this quest, the Essence of Umbra.
Good work.
Looks like we get a helmet. Hey, you know what? We wanted 2 red and a green. Now we just need to make this one. Oh, maybe this one will do it. Oh yeah, that's gonna do it. We wanted 4 total. We wanted 1 green and 3 red. So looks like we got it.
With the road to the farewell.
Let's hope it's a good item. Movement speed, fire resist. That's pretty good. That's really nice. But less movement speed. That's okay. Ooh, this is pretty good too. Strength, intelligence, armor, lightning resistance. This is great. Let's use this instead. And then now we can switch our gems, our support gems. And then also do cruelty right here. And we can check our defenses. Okay, so we lose cold resistance. We're capped on lightning, we're capped on fire, but we need more cold resistance, so maybe it's not such a good idea to switch out these boots, because we don't need the fire and lightning resistance. There's no cold resistance on there, so let's try to find something that has more cold resistance, and then we can sort of switch things out. So let's sell these items here.
Stay sharp out there.
Talk to Bestel. He wants us to kill Aberath. Let's go to the prisoner's gate. So we want to find the next area to kill Aberath. It's going to give us another Pantheon point.
My spirit's in space.
All right, nice. We got the fast one. Cool. Just running through here, trying to find the next area. The Western Forest, we don't want that. We want to find the Valley of the Fire Drinker. That's what we're looking for. Maybe it was over there to the right. Let's take a look. This looks like it could be it. Yeah, there we go. Valley of the Fire Drinker. So now we're going to kill this boss, Aberath. Remember, we're going to do exactly what we've been doing. Running around in a circle so he doesn't attack us. Do that with all of these bosses here until they cast a spell like that. Alright, and he disappears, goes into phase 2. Valley of the Soul Drinker. There he is. And again, we can just run around in circles if we want to. He won't be able to attack us. Very easy sort of play style here. And there we go. Ruby ring. Bronze plate. Let's just take a look at what we got here. What items they are. That's a mace. We don't need that. That's not very good. And that's not very good either. Alright, so we got another Pantheon power. And you can see which one is the different one because it is pulsing above this one. As you can see, it's sort of glowing. I don't know if you can see that very well, but right here, this one right there above us, above me. Let's see. So it says 60% less duration of ignite on you. So it says unaffected by burning ground. This is upgrade effects do not apply until the quest and end to hunger is completed. Okay, so huh, that's weird. Let's just do this one because less duration of ignite on you is really good. We don't want to have an ignite for 45 seconds or for 10 seconds. We would rather have it for 6 seconds instead of 10. It's going to shave off a lot of the damage it's going to do to us because it's a lesser duration. It doesn't mean that the duration or the damage will be condensed. It just means that instead of dealing 100 damage over 4.5 seconds, it'll now deal 100. It'll deal 50 damage over 2.5 seconds. Does not increase the damage done by the enemies. And there's Nessa. Search for Nessa, it says here. Travel through the forest to Merveil's Cavern is what the next objective says. I think we want to go to the Western Forest after. Yep, Western Forest, good. We're at the Western Forest. Let's see if we can get our skill point, or our waypoint rather. Rogue marker we're not going to worry about. That's a quest or a another mechanic. Another league mechanic that we don't really need to worry about. You can pick them up if you want to, but we're not going to go into we're not going to do any heist missions at all, so don't worry too much about it if you don't want to grab it. Cool. Let's go back to town. Talk to Tarkley. Or Bestel, rather. He's going to give us another passive skill point. That's great. Be one step closer to getting our item there. Cool. Well, now, looks like we can swap off this and not have to worry about our gem. You remember before, this had 8 dexterity, which gave us 8 more dexterity, which went from 62 to 70. Now we're at 80 dexterity. This requires 67, so we can remove this if we need to, if we find a different weapon, for example.
Welcome.
Sell these items. Identify that. It's not very good.
Farewell.
Let's sell it. Let's see. Normal item. So this is cold resistant. So if we find an item, for example, that's an armor or a belt, we can use this on it. Hopefully get the guaranteed, well, we will get the guaranteed cold resistance, but hopefully we get something better with it as well. So that's the hope right now. An armor in this case is going to be any specific item. So gloves, chest piece, helmet, or boots. Otherwise, it will tell us what is used for. So like it says bow, it says two-handed melee weapon, or other weapon. Other weapon will be a one-handed weapon, or a claw, or something like that. And then other jewelry, it says that. So it doesn't have a list of like rings or amulets. It'll tell us on this menu here if we can use it on a specific item, and what it will do if we use it on a specific item. So we don't need that right now. So we're going to try to travel through the forest to Merveil's Caverns. We remember Merveil, she was the cold witch. We're also going to try to defeat the puppet mistress. So we need to go back to the Western Forest. So we need to find the spawning ground, which is where the puppet mistress is.
My spirit is spent.
Cool, here's a doorway. This might be the spawning ground. This is riverways. We don't want riverways. Oh, maybe we do. Yes, I'm sorry. We do want the riverways. Excuse me. And now we want to try to find the waypoint here. Whoa. Alright, maybe this is it. That's the wetlands. So we need to find the waypoint here. There's the waypoint. Good. Got it. And let's go to the wetlands here. So this is where we're going to look for the spawning ground. Oh. Ow. 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 Wonderful. We leveled up. Put another point and get some more dexterity. It's going to be great. Let's make sure there's no enemies chasing us. And we need 2 more points and we finally get that. Attack and mana leech. Alright, trying to find the spawning grounds. That's our next objective. Alrighty. Steel skin, lacerate, pride. Cool. The spawning ground. Great. This is what we want. So this is going to be another boss that we're going to have to fight. And the way this works is you have to go down in this poison. You have to kill these nests down here. With all these guys attacking us. That one there, and then this one here. And then once we kill those 3... the boss spawns. And as you can see at the top of the boss health, we'll see her health falling pretty rapidly. Pretty fast. And there we go. Nope, not good and not good. We don't want those. What about bronze plate? That could be good. That's actually very nice. Gives us cold resistance, which we're looking for. gives us a lot of maximum life and has 3 sockets, but we don't have to worry about the sockets being connected because these don't benefit from each other. So let's do this. And check our defense. And now we're a little bit higher with cold resistance, which is great. That's where we want to be. All right, and we got another Pantheon power. We got this one down here, which is life flask gain 3 charges every 3 seconds if you haven't used a life flask recently. By the way, recently refers to the past 4 seconds. So if you haven't used a life flask in the past 4 seconds, you gain 3 charges every 3 seconds, which is pretty nice. It means that we don't have to kill monsters to get our charges to use for our healing potions, because it just specifically says life flasks. And it also gives us 60% increased life recovery from flasks when used on low life. And low life is considered to be 50% of a max life or less. So that's kind of nice. But we're going to keep what we have here, the less duration of Ignite, because that's going to be more beneficial to our build. And let's see. So we've gotten a Puppet Mistress. And let's just exit to character select screen. Go back in. Talk to the guy and get our reward. Another passive skill point, which is great. That means we're 1 point away from getting our leech. Life and mana leech. Sell those. Get some currency. All right. We're going to try to travel through the forest to Merveil's Caverns. That's where we're going next. Southern Forest is where we need to go next. Oh, let's go back up here. Let's go down this way. We're getting close to finishing this chapter, or this act. Want to go to the Southern Forest. Another unique enemy here. Hallowed mana we don't need. Alright, looks like this is where we go. Yeah, Southern Forest. Great. Alright, so now what we're going to go try to do is we're going to get the waypoint, and then we're going to try to enter the Cavern of Anger. Let's go this way. Nope, nothing over there. Alright, so it looks like we're headed down this way. Down here, maybe. Alright, maybe it's further up this way. I think I got stuck in the tree there. Yeah, I did. Well, that's alright. Looking for an orange door. That'll let us know that we're on the right track to getting to the Cavern of Wrath. Alright, waypoint. Nice. And nice. Cavern of Anger. Sweet. That's where we wanted to go. Open the flag chest and get the black flag. And go through this passage here. And we're looking for the beacon. Looking for the orange door. There it is. Cool. The beacon. Wonderful. So now our goal is going to be to plant the black flag on top of the beacon. And that will send us to our new area where we're going to fight the final boss of this act.
My spirit is spent.
Another essence monster. Alrighty. Oh, nice. That dropped. Cool. 3 chromatic orbs. Wow. Very nice. Orb of Chance. That's a pretty good one. It's in gold, so we know it's a currency item. Two chromatic. That's great. Looks like we're pulling up to some kind of structure here. Yeah, alright, sweet. So this is where we need to go. We need to get to this area up here. And we need to stand in these circles while the pedestals move. All while defending ourselves and not moving out of the circle. Because if we leave the circle, it will start to go backwards. But one thing we can do is we can stand on the opposite end of where it's going, and it will not go backwards. So it's a neat little trick we can do. If we're a little bit overwhelmed and we need to just stand still and not want this to move. Same thing. Hanging out here. Nice. There we go. Now we have enough skill points to get our attack and mana leech. Or a life and mana leech, rather. Alright, let's take a look at that now. Got our life and mana leech. Wonderful. So now when we attack, we should be getting mana back. Yeah, it looks like we are. Let's turn off clarity. See how much more we get. Oh, clarity still makes it pretty nice, so that's pretty good. We'll have to wait a little bit longer until our attack damage becomes a little bit higher. More attack damage we have, the more mana we'll be getting back. So right now our attack damage is a little low relative to where it needs to be. But we're getting HP, which is nice. So we're recovering HP via leech, via attacking enemies. And this is sustained. This is how we will sustain ourselves in later maps. It's by getting enough attack damage. Hit the ignition device, hit the beacon, run down here. We're talking to Roth. Sail to the Brine Reef's Keep. We're gonna find Nessa. Let's follow this left-hand wall to find the entrance to this zone. Trying to find this next boss. Okay, there he is. Cool. Brine King's Throne.
So strong. So dedicated. A man like you will never disappoint a lady in need. You're a gift, don't you see? A sumptuous feast for His Majesty on his wedding day. Really. We are both so touched by your generosity.
Oh, Nessa. Whoa. So just like the same way we were killing Hillock, we can do the exact same thing here. Attack him when he is vulnerable. The nice thing about the bleed is that enemies that die around him will damage him as well. Now this one we just need to not go on the outside, because if we go out here we lose health. We need to stay inside here. Watch out for those bouncing water balls. And do the same thing. Summon our golem. Give us more health regen. Alright, and he goes back into his state like this. Doesn't hit too hard. Watching out for the slam. Now we have less of an area to attack him in, which is fine. Just bleeding him. There we go. All right.
Born of ocean's mire, and death washed clean of dark, and thus the
All right, we get our first major Pantheon power. And remember, we can have 2 Pantheon powers, one major, one minor. So we have our minor one set here with the lesser duration of Ignite, And we're going to select our major one right here, which is cannot be stunned if you've been stunned or blocked a stunning hit in the past 2 seconds. So that's a very nice one there. And then we're going to talk to Waylon Roth. Sail to the bridge encampment. And that will be the end of Act 6. And now we're on to Act 7.